We had this huge idea of having a big event in Amsterdam on the streets. Then the lockdown happened, so we had to find ourselves again in this situation.
iNDiViDUALS Studio is an in-house studio by AMFI. It's established in 2006, and we're actually a consultancy company. And through creating a fashion collection, we get to our advice. Sustainability is pretty much a given. So we source sustainable fabrics. We make sure we produce locally, natural dyeing. And we're the 28th generation, as we call it, I-28.
I-28 of individuals.
Everybody came to the office thinking it would be a normal working day, but we actually had some kind of emergency meeting. We took pictures of everything in our office because we have these big boards, big mood boards, visuals everywhere. Then over the weekend, we weren't allowed to go back anymore.
Throughout our residence hall, the building I was living, where every day I would be hearing suitcases rattle, and everybody was leaving, dropping like flies one by one. Another member of Design and Individuals was also living in my building, Kim, and her school had basically pulled her out completely of the program.
Hey Kim, this is Ellie. So sad that you have to leave. Hope you have a nice time, and we really, really enjoyed you in our group, and you'll always be part of our group, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
And then my parents were, at the beginning of the situation, were in full support of me staying. But then halfway through, just the fact that the numbers were rising, and this was, the fact that it sort of hit a global scale, it became more and more crucial for me to go home.
Is the recording working?
Yeah, I think
it's working.
It's recording.
Yeah.
Oh, it's better.
Do you hear me?
So we made the traditional supply chain, our limitations and problems, and to create a new way of solving it.
And build up a collection on long distance with local sources.
Local sourcing, global sharing.
The impact of the local sourcing and global sharing from the inside out.
This is the focus then of the build-up of the design process. If we need to share how the designers are doing that.
We've come up with a new way of working, which is our build-up process. So this applies to the three sort of sections of our collection. Our 5 production styles, which act as blank canvases for other people to work on. And then our iconic styles, which then can be divided into our physical looks and also our Clo digital looks. There's 5 of them. Basically, we want to integrate this sort of collaborative build-up process in all 3 different channels of our collection. In our production look, we did a rotating production design challenge, basically, within the design team. And the first designer drew the silhouette of the garment, and then we passed all of our silhouettes along. And then the next thing that was added was all the seams, and then we passed the drawing along. And then the next thing that was added was all the details, and we had a finished garment. And this was actually really interesting because we did a few rounds and we ended up getting lots of different sketches, and then we chose them, we voted on our favourites and then edited them together. And it was nice because you sort of lost that distinctive style of each designer in some ways, but at the same time it was coming through because you'd see an outfit and you think, oh, that looks really like a blend of us. And this is our sort of aim, to lose the ego of the designer.
And what I would do now is I would check each pattern if all the notches are correct or if I need to add anything else.
And then here's the division of the 5 packages of 6 meters. Again, the roll for 30 meters production. And then here we have all the patterns laying open. And my whole living room is full with stuff.
How was it with Arola, Lotte?
Yeah, it was good. But I dropped off all the fabric, so it's 30 meters that they have laying there now. And then the first 3 styles. So he quickly went over it, and I just mentioned to him as well, like when there's something unclear, just proceed with how you would normally do it, and then we will adjust afterwards.
Maybe we can plan a meeting in my studio after the pickup.
Arola is already a very long time partner of iNDiViDUALS. So this afternoon we're going to go there and get our first 3 samples and have the first view on how everything turned out and if everything was right and if we did it right and if they did it right.
Hey! Ja, met jou? Leuk?
In the beginning of the crisis, we were challenged in not having the tools, so we did look for different suppliers to see, like, okay, but maybe they can create our patterns for us. At Arola, that's not possible. But then the moral aspect of not going to our supplier just felt really wrong. Because within this crisis, it's really important to support the partners that you already have and also give them work, of course.
It's Kiki here. Tuesday this morning I received the bodice from Gabriella from Amsterdam. And I'm also excited for Roy because he is receiving my package tomorrow, all the way in Canada.
The iconic looks are physical and we send them over to each other and we don't see what we're working on before we receive the pieces.
Oh, I'm so excited to open this. I just need to find some scissors. I should have prepped that.
It's okay. I'm going to try not say anything about what I intended it to be, I guess. I don't know.
God, Roy, it looks amazing. One second, I'm trying to work out which way it's up.
This idea of shipping the pieces was also a personal thing for us to be more connected with each other while we are being abroad, because the piece that we are sending is also like a postcard, it's also like a letter, it's also like a diary, like a journal. And it helps us designers to really stay connected and to be a team and to really have this team feeling instead of working alone at home and not knowing what the other people do.
And then this is what I received from Roy.
Roy, yeah. You need to add now the sleeves.
No, I'm adding bottom. Sorry, I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, no, bottom, yeah.
So I feel like I really like skirts. And I think knowing the other designers, I might be wrong, but I feel like there will be a lot of trousers.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a skirt.
I'm going to do some experiments today with the flower dyeing. I'm first going to pick up some good flowers. With good flowers, I mean flowers with a lot of pigment. This is a perfect flower. Cut the flowers up. Fold it up really tight. So I put this thing on the sieve. The fabric steamed for 1 hour and fold it out. So, and this is the end result.
There's an isolation, so you really have to look around you and really appreciate what you have around you and use what you have around you to create some new beautiful things. So, for example, I'm dyeing my own yarn with food, and the food that I use can be grown locally in the Netherlands because this is onion and cabbage. A big part of our collection, which was a strong point for the very beginning, adding craft to our collection in some way. Like embroidery, maybe some gathering, maybe some other craft techniques, maybe some prints, something very personal. For example, what I'm doing right now here is inspired by Polish folklore costume. To build up this journal, this diary on the garment that we're working on.
For the kilt, I just started by playing around with my actual kilt on top of it. I measured the bottom of Roy's bodice and I'm adding on now to make it a dress and then put the kilt over the top. I'm also glad that I made it a dress, so now we've actually combined a piece. So it's Monday right now, and if you can hear, this is literally the sound of my computer trying to manage Chloe.
I must be doing something wrong. There is something very weird happening.
I clicked on something.
Yeah.
The render.
Technical part, issues.
I tried so much.
It's so hard. So it was a little bit of a mistake that I was sewing it, and then it turned out to be a cutout. I was like, yes, I keep it.
Lucky.
I also like it.
Really cool.
So we're basically using Chloe 3D software, building a bodice, and then sending it to the next person. And then that person will add the next piece and so on. So then we'll have a collection that encapsulates the digital world and the physical world, which I think will be interesting. Designers are embracing digital fashion as a way to combat coronavirus pandemic, but also sustainability in general.
Wow. So how do you guys create the colors in the clothes styles based on the natural dyeing?
Yeah, so we're basically imagining that each color is a vegetable or a fruit.
I find it so funny, the running. So
informative image, because you really understand the shape of the pants.
Yeah.
Presenting the clothes looks like with the build-up idea to render every stage of every look.
So it's really interesting how they did it all digitally without any physical connection. So I hope something will come out of it also for in the future.
I already saw it in the spec.
I like it, guys. The look and feel is really nice.
Yeah.
So much cooler than I expected.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Positive.
Yeah, really nice feeling.
Have you opened it at all yet?
Oh, I was waiting for you.
Yeah.
Oh, this drawing is so cute. Oh, that's a nice color. How did you get that?
That is red onion.
So we're almost at the end of the process. I received my package from Gabriella already yesterday.
These last 6 months with I-28, I've realized we can achieve great things when we unite and work on something together.
One of the biggest things we've realized is how the crisis really has been the catalyst in working towards our sustainable goals.
We created a collection that is completely biodegradable, gender fluid, based on craftsmanship and collaboration.
Sustainable fabrics should be a given requirement.
People are really going to have to start thinking outside of the box.
We stayed connected.
Every little personal interaction feels quite nice.
Improved on Chloe.
I will definitely look for my sources locally.
Has made me a better designer, doing everything more digital and eliminating all this.
The next step in the build-up would be trying it out on a larger scale.
You know, the